Out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4. And for New York, Felton is out there with Iman Shumpert. And in the middle, the 2012 Defensive Player of the Year, 7'1" rebounder, shot blocker, and leader, Tyson Chandler. Then it's Anthony, and it's Bargnani in at the 4-man position.
Well, he really anchors their defense. You know, his teammates can lean on him. They know that he's going to be in the right spot. He's so smart, so skilled. Really the complete package at the defensive end of the floor.
Steve, another signature part of his game is the way he runs the pick and roll. He gets so many easy baskets that way. It's a play they should run for him as often as they can.
Now here's Leonard. And out of bounds as the Knicks gain possession. Spurs on defense. And Doris Burke spoke with Mike Woodson. Doris?
Kevin, I talked to him about the shot blocking they're certain to face in this matchup. He's certainly cognizant of it, and he told me this. If we can play a little more up-tempo and score before their bigs can recover, that will help. Also, getting them on the move in the half court, whether with ball movement or screens, will also serve us well. Kevin, if they can execute, they'll have some success.
Thanks for that report, Doris. Guys, do you think we'll see game planning early on that might end up developing through the game as far as getting through this very tough defense?
I think there's almost no question that what they're doing offensively at the beginning of the game will change several times before we're finished.
Well, that's what the defense they're facing forces you to do. You have to be ready to adjust and make some changes. It's too complex a defensive scheme to just attack it one set way.
And you look at Andrea Bargnani, he's always been able to shoot three-pointers. The biggest thing with him is developing his low-post game, accepting contact and being physical, taking advantage of that size inside.
Now, here is Bargnani. Back to Shumpert. And again, New York with the triple.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
The Spurs have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. And for Bargnani, developing a back-to-the-basket score mentality, taken right from the Dirk Nowitzki playbook. Pretty important weapon.
Yeah, and Dirk has said it himself, Kevin. When you're just an outside shooter, teams can really take that away from you. Being able to maximize your size inside, that's the key for Bargnani's development and maturation as a player going forward. Well, for Andrea Bargnani, only 35 games played last season, guys. Injuries and inconsistency have really plagued the former #1 overall pick of the 2006 draft.
Going back to Bargnani, Steve, how much do you think the pressure of living up to the #1 pick and not being labeled a bust weighs on him, from season to season, game to game?
Well, at this stage, I think that stuff should be in the past. It's all about just focusing on getting better. He's been in the league for 7 seasons. We know he can pick and pop and be a space foreman. The challenge for him is to round out his game and be better on the boards and defensively.
Now here's Parker. And nothing is falling for him right now.
Kind of a shaky first few minutes. Guys, 5 field goal attempts, only 1 made.
Anthony kicks to Bargnani. Outside, Felton. Felton off the pick from Chandler. Back to Bargnani. There's the 3, and that comes off the assist by Raymond Felton. Bargnani's got 8 points.
Starting to really play well here and trying to pull away.
Yeah, and they're doing it effectively, Steve. I mean, they're on all cylinders right now, clicking beautifully. The Spurs have always been very mindful of resting key players during the regular season. Some of it has to do with age of their players. Some of it is regarding talent because they knew they were a playoff team most years. And you look at the research, there is something to be said for not playing guys when they're fatigued because injuries are more likely if you play tired. That's really too easy a chance to miss, guys. He needs to be more aggressive and focused on his finishes.
Here's Duncan. The teardrop falls in. Duncan's got his second bucket tonight.
Looks like he may have been showboating a little bit at the end of that one.
And back to the Spurs and their strategy of resting their star players, not without some controversy. The NBA, as you may recall, fined the Spurs and Coach Popovich for sitting all their starting players for a nationally televised game back in November.
Well, it was their 4th game in 5 nights, and Pop wanted to rest some of their guys because of just the nature of their schedule. but I think the problem was he didn't give the league advance warning. In that game against Miami, when he rested those 3 players, he actually sent them home. And I think that was a little shot at the league. And that's why there was a problem, and that's why the Spurs and Popovich ended up getting fined.
Parker kicks to Splitter. Goes back up, and they will get the basket here, folks, as they rule goaltending.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
And you can hear the reaction of the fans to that call.
Well, it's obvious they did not like it, Steve.
Here's what's...
Are you kidding me? It was a power punch right there. Boy, what a fantastic opening quarter for them.
Yeah, it sure has been. Look at the lead they've jumped out to already. Impressive.
Spurs trail by 13. Parker outside, and that's a foul called on Beno Udrih. That's his first foul. Second team. .152 left to play here in the first.
That's 2 fouls for him very early in this ball game. He'll probably have to spend some time on the bench before halftime.
And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for New York.
Well, they've definitely had the hot hand from the three-point line so far. Always nice to start out like that.
Also, what passing we've seen from them here early. I mean, there could be a big number in the assist column if this keeps up.
To the middle, world peace. Diaw with the steal. He kicks it to Ginobili. It's rebounded by New York.
Coach Popovich was fined last season for sitting out his top players in a nationally televised matchup against the Heat. I certainly understand the league's posture there, and it was a lot said about it. Yet, for a veteran team like the Spurs with championship aspirations, I understand resting key players during the course of the regular season.
Parker dishes to Ginobili. And the foul on Carmelo Anthony. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. And back to that fine for Popovich, $250,000. Steve, that'll leave a dent.
Yeah, no doubt. But, you know, Popovich enjoys tweaking the league at times. This was clearly an effort to do that. But, look, I think it's good for him to actually kind of let the league know every once in a while that if you're going to give us that kind of schedule with my older team, I'm going to sit them down once in a while.
A lot of high hopes for the Knicks in last year's playoffs. They started off so hot, but then let the series against Boston drag on, and eventually went to 7 games, and they fell to the Pacers in the second round after that.
Smith drives in, and the pass to Udrih. World peace. There's the dish to Smith. Smith missing again. Parker outside. 36 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. And the Boston series did drag on them, you could tell. You wonder if they were a bit fatigued going into that Pacers series. Steve, Indiana just outplayed him, outworked him in every way in the second round.
Yeah, I think it was a factor, Kevin, and really the Knicks have only themselves to blame. They had Boston down 3-1 and a home game to close it out, but they couldn't get it done. And there's no doubt that affected them against Indiana in the next series.
He's always going to have a difficult time finishing when the defense is in his face like that.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Parker left side. Parker double teamed. Ellen. And the foul on Amari Stoudemire. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. The Spurs have gone 6 of 8 from the free throw line tonight.
Well, they were very pleased with their free throw numbers a year ago. They knocked down about 79% from the stripe as a team.
You know, something you can point to when you're talking about their areas of success last season, free throw shooting.
World peace, good. Just 4 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Oh, we've seen some great shots in the first quarter. No. Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Knicks?
Boy, a ton of threes in that first quarter. This team really lighting it up, guys.
Yeah, it's been an onslaught from downtown.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Thank you, Kevin. Tony Parker and teammate Boris Diaw have known each other since high school back in France. Boris says of Tony, quote, he's a point guard who can do it all. He can be an organizer and make the team play. Other times, he's going to be a scoring point guard. It's pretty rare to have both. And guys, Coach Popovich talked about how Parker's decision-making has matured as far as reading when to pass and when to score. He's found a great balance as the years have gone on, guys.
He can do it all, Doris. Pass, shoot, special talent. Out of bounds, New York takes possession.
That's a poor possession. You just give away the ball with a sloppy pass.
A different look now for San Antonio. Splitters checked in for Matt Bonner. And it's Duncan in for Boris Diaw. Stoudemire. Soft touch off the glass. Stoudemire's got his third bucket of the night.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
Yep, that's something that the defense has to put a stop to. Maybe a defensive adjustment is necessary here.
Bargnani has checked in for Stoudemire. Second quarter, and we're just over a minute in. Outside Leonard, uncovered. That shot's good on the assist by Ginobili.
Well, Kawhi Leonard is a do-it-all type of player. I mean, defense, rebounding. His role on the Spurs hasn't been that of a big-time scorer. But he is efficient scoring the basketball. He's just the kind of player that helps you win games at a high level.
Back to Ginobili. And it's out of bounds to the Spurs as San Antonio retains possession.
That was an awfully risky pass, guys. Lucky it didn't wind up as a steal.
Well, it nearly did wind up as a steal, but no harm done in the end. They hang on to possession.
Daniel Green, he's checked in for Manu Ginobili. Second quarter, we're a little over a minute and a half in. Parker, he's covered by Felton. It's Parker with the drive. Makes it off the glass. And for the Spurs, a team with plenty of scoring. You know, do you think Kawhi Leonard, as we kind of circle him here, could become a big-time scorer in the NBA?
I don't know, because it's a much different deal to play off of other people or being the center of attention yourself. And right now, Leonard is in a terrific position playing off of Parker and Duncan and Ginobili. That's foul number 2 on him. It might not warrant sitting him entirely, but another one before halftime, they could be in some trouble.
New York shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
Yeah, very average shooting team.
And this sort of awesome dunk is one of the reasons this team is in charge of this game right now.
Clark, there is a swagger out here on the court that they possess and are not afraid to show it either.
That's right.
Those are phenomenal dunks to watch. So much fun.
Off his foot, and it's whistled a kick. Parker drives in, and that one's good. Parker's got 4 points this quarter.
Still trailing, but their offense is off life support here in the second quarter. It's got a pulse.
Yeah, they're making some shots now, Clark, finally starting to make up some ground.
You know, the Knicks got off to a fast start, but when you employ as many old bodies as they did last year, it's hard to sustain the level of play you need over the course of a full season. It's one reason they started to falter a bit late in the year.
He's looking for Leonard and finds him. Smith with the defensive effort.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
Chandler outside. Kicks to Bargnani. Felton. Bargnani, a screen on Parker. Back to Bargnani. And he jams it after taking the nice feed on the run.
Well, that's a solidly executed pick play. I mean, it paid dividends with that nice dunk.
Exactly the result they were looking for.
Yeah, it worked so well. I mean, he got set, did not shuffle his feet. Really well done there offensively.
And Clark, you said the Knicks did hit that lull last season right after the All-Star break into early March. But Steve, when the Vets saw the finish line in sight, they picked up their play and got back in it.
That's right. They won 13 games in a row late in the season, catapulting themselves back into the top tier of teams in the East, and let everyone know that they would not be exiting the playoffs early. That really was the start of that run.
You know, the Spurs really have a cohesive culture, and part of that is something that Greg Popovich has been able to do, and that's being able to join guys together that normally might not hang out. For instance, you had Matt Bonner taking Steven Jackson out to a Coldplay concert last season. One way to help guys get to know each other off the court, and it helps them on the court.
Got that one up quick. Felton's got 5 points so far.
The defense sagged off, and, you know, he did not hesitate to rise up and bury that three.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Yes, Kevin, a lot of the Spurs' success is because they are able to manage the cap so well. It comes from them getting their key players to take just a little less when they renew their contracts. Tony Parker explained, quote, I think it's just the atmosphere here, the family atmosphere. For me personally, why I did it was because deep down in my heart, I know Pop will take care of me until the end of my career. Seems that is worth a few extra dollars to have that kind of security, guys.
Great leadership from the top on down. And Doris, credit the players for really buying in. And New York making a change here. Anthony's checked in. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Anthony's got his first 2 points of the night.
Tell you what, he is so difficult to guard, especially on a shot like that one.
Spurs trail by 13. And back to Popovich and the Spurs, he really makes a point of getting to know his players and have them get to know one another.
That's right, Kevin. He likes to have his players have a sense of perspective about the world. He wants them to know that there are other things going on besides the NBA. In fact, back in 2012, he had the players watching the presidential debates together.
They grab their own miss. Splitter misses. New York leading by 13. The drive by Smith. Good D by Parker.
The defense was ready for him that time, and they had to be. He is so powerful in the lane.
Here's Splitter. Green kicks to Duncan. They get it back.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Here's Smith. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Smith's got 4 this quarter.
Not trying to rattle any rims or racks there. Just up and in with the finger roll.
And Parker, here we go. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
That whistle got a big response from this crowd, and it is not a favorable one, let's say.
I'll tell you what, the fans can't believe that they made that call.
The Spurs making a switch here. Diaw's checked in. Bargnani sets the screen for Felton. 6 on the shot clock. He got right to the cup using that screen. Bargnani's got 15.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
Green passes to Diaw. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Parker, he's covered by Felton. Parker drives in. Another shot. Diaw can't hit.
And excellent interior defense there. Good rotations.
No doubt about it, Steve. He's a real presence inside. Takes up a lot of space.
Deep 2 from Anthony. And so that brings the first half to a close.
And now, brought to you by Sprint. Sunday action is the Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And standing tall over New York Harbor, the Statue of Liberty, as we welcome you back.
Just an amazing game for Bargnani. 15 points, and he sprayed home 3 3-pointers as well.
Yeah, productive day for him from long range.
Spurs trail by 15.
And what an amazing run it was for the Spurs last year in the postseason. Swept the Lakers, survived Golden State, and then dismantled Memphis on their way to the NBA Finals. And then, of course, were seconds away from another championship annual.
Shuffled and fouled as he went up to the dunk. Good aggressive move, and he'll shoot 2.
Good strength there. Just barely off with that attempt.
I don't think you can fault him right there. A lot of contact on that one.
This is his first free throw of the game. Well, getting back to the Spurs, they looked better and better as they went deeper into the playoffs, Clark. Heat were thought to be the heavy favorites at the start of the NBA postseason. But when they met in the finals, thoughts on who would win, I think, were pretty much split.
Yeah, and eventually, this was one heck of a series because the Spurs not only had experience and talent, but they had multiple options offensively and did such a terrific job sharing the ball. They took the Miami Heat to the limit, but at the end of the day, it came down to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade rising to the challenge.
Leonard, the open look. And it's Green with the jam.
Boy, I like the way he carved out just enough space to get his hands on the missed shot and then rattle the rim on the putback.
And the gap narrows.
They're closing it fast.
Well, that's the effort of a team ready to fight back into this game.
Felton dishes to Chandler. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Chandler's got 8 points. Spurs trail by 17.
Well, guys, with the Knicks playing a space-the-floor pick-and-roll offensive scheme, Tyson Chandler is a hand-in-glove pick as the high-flying finisher inside, keeping defenses honest and then cleaning up the mess on the weak side board if shots are missed.
From 11 feet away, and Leonard gets it to go. Leonard's got his 3rd basket of the night right there. The Knicks leading by 15. And Clark, you talked about what Chandler has meant for this Knicks team, both on the court and in the locker room. And you wonder, if Dallas, Steve, had it to do over, do you think they would have tried harder to re-sign him?
Well, I understood the plan. Dallas felt like with Dirk Nowitzki getting older, they had to save that capital for a superstar, maybe Dwight Howard or Chris Paul. But it's always easy in hindsight when those things don't happen to say, hey, what were you doing?
Parker against Felton. Parker kicks to Leonard. Pass to Duncan. Anthony on him. Tries from 10. Anthony with the block. Felton the pass to Carmelo.
Well, what a year for Melo, who just started so high and kept it going throughout last season. Led the league in scoring and I think really became the superstar that he seemed destined to become.
The Spurs making a switch here. Diaw's checked in. Both free throws good from Anthony. The Spurs have gone 3 of 7 on field goal attempts here in the second half. Ginobili kicks to Parker. Leonard dishes to Parker. The D bit on that pass fake, and that freed him up. Going back to Carmelo, the superstar, last season his jersey sales jumped to first, Clark, in the entire NBA.
Seemed like a good fit for him in New York. His star has been magnified there, but it's due to his play. He embraces the expectations. When you think back to that game in April where he dropped 50 on the Heat, I think he's playing some of the best basketball of his career.
A different look now for San Antonio. Now Bonner comes in for Splitter. And it's Bellinelli in for Tony Parker. Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played. And Bellinelli kicks to Ginobili. Bangs home the trifecta. Ginobili's got 5.
Something's starting to click for this team, guys. You can feel it. The three-pointers are dropping. Their offense is flowing.
They've had a great second half from long range.
And Udrich kicks to Anthony. World peace on the way. Diaw with the steal. And the foul on Amari Stoudemire. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Tony Parker's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. Anthony against Parker. Bonner Ginobili on the wing. Got a piece of it. Bonner passes to Parker. Gets it to go. New York leading by 15.
There were only 3 teams in the East that had a positive record against the Western Conference, and the Knicks were one of them. When you have talent like this team does, it doesn't really matter where your opponent is from because you're going to be able to compete.
The shot's good from Stoudemire.
This is a tremendous solo run he's on. The kind we've seen him have so many times before.
Bellinelli dishes to Parker. Passes to Bellinelli. All alone. They get it again. Here's Bonner. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. The Spurs have made their free throws at a pretty good clip. They've hit 8 of 10. Well, Clark, as you mentioned, the Knicks against the West, when you had the offensive capabilities from deep that they did, you know, Steve, you're never really out of the game. Yeah, you should know.
Well, they could just shoot their way back into games very easily. And that's what they did a lot of times against some of those teams in the West. But you have to play well against the West if you want to win your division. And the Knicks were able to do that last year.
Here's Ginobili, and Bargnani sends it back. But they recover it. Tries again. That one off the back iron and out. New York leading by 15. Stoudemire kicks to world peace. Parker passes to Bonner. Rejected by Shumpert. And now the Knicks on the break. There's 1:26 left to play in the third. Bargnani inside the three-point line. That's good. And it's Udrich with the assist that time. Udrich has got 4 assists now tonight. And an important part of every team's game. A look at the hustle stats for the Knicks.
Their defense has been outstanding, Kevin. Closing out on shots, blocking a lot of them as well.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
The Spurs have been getting it done at the line, 10 for 12. A different look now for San Antonio. Splitters checked in for Matt Bonner. Duncan comes in for Boris Diaw. And Kawhi Leonard subbed in for Manu Ginobili. And Shumpert kicks to Felton. Tipped. And out of bounds as the Spurs gain possession. Spurs trail by 15. 50 seconds left in the third quarter. Shumpert dishes to Carmelo. Throws down the breakaway jam.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close. They're playing with a purpose, guys. The big lead becoming bigger. I like the look in their eyes.
And it's on both ends that they've been controlling the action.
Parker passes to Leonard. Now the feed to Duncan. That's good. Duncan's got 6.
Smart move with that mismatch he's got.
You know what? That extra advantage sure pays off on the mid-range jumper.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Chandler guarded by Green. For 3, Felton. Green with the rebound.
Probably should hold for one shot here. Clock is on their side.
Yeah, no brainer. They can hold it for the last shot.
Good. Now Anthony, he's got 15. Chandler, no good. That's a 2 from Parker. Off target with that shot. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits. Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. The Knicks leading by 15. And Udrich kicks to Chandler. Again, the miss by Chandler. Spurs shooting at a decent 44% clip here. Dishes it to Green. Second chance shot. The shot no good. Good work defensively by Stoudemire. Pass to Felton. Feeds to Carmelo. Ripped away. Outside, Green. And he jams it with authority.
You know, as soon as that steal was made, it was over. That was going to be a bucket the whole way.
That's exactly how a turnover cost you.
New York's gone 6 of 10 from three-point range, up over 50% for the ball game. And that one's good.
And I'll say this about him, Kevin. I mean, it looks like he's made of rubber sometimes because defenders just bounce off him when he's driving the lane. What a finisher.
And I'll tell you one more thing about him, Steve. He's set to screen maybe better than anybody. And if he rolls off of it, he gets the ball and gets a clean look. It's automatic.
Stoudemire. It's good. This time the assist from Udrich. Udrich has got 6 assists now in the game. Spurs trail by 17. Splitter. He's guarded by Chandler. Leonard dishes to Bellinelli. first minute and a half of basketball played here in the fourth quarter. Here's Duncan. Duncan with another miss.
All he needed right there was simply to set himself up and then relax and shoot the ball. He threw himself off balance for no reason.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. And defensively, the wind has just been knocked out of their sails.
Need to get more bodies committed down low.
He feeds it to Green. He passes to Splitter. Knocked away. And stolen by Felton. And Anthony gets it to go on the assist by Udrich. And that's 19 points for Carmelo Anthony.
Boy, the floor really opened up for him there.
It sure did. I mean, that was a very late reaction from the defense there.
There's Green with the three. Tyson Chandler pulls it in. Chandler's got his 8th rebound here tonight. Udrich, the pass to Stoudemire. Leonard kicks to Bellinelli. Just got the run. That one goes. Count it.
You know, sometimes you don't like to see guys pull up from three-point range on the break, but for him, with nobody on him, that's a pretty good shot.
Juan Ginobili, he's checked in for the Spurs. Parker comes in for Marco Bellinelli. Chandler with the screen on Ginobili. Smith dishes to Carmelo. Back to Smith. Smith off a pick from Bargnani. Smith the pass to Felton. He kicks to Smith. Clock at 6. New York needs to get off a shot. No good from Bargnani. Spurs trail by 18. And there's the call on Felton. That'll be his second foul of the game. And just about 3 minutes through the fourth quarter here. And that one's good to Parker.
Perfect inbounds pass and an easy 2 points.
And here are the Knicks now. Smith kicks to Chandler. Back to Smith. And the Knicks miss again.
You just assume he's going to knock those down when he's as open as he was there. He's tried to get it going, but the shots just have not dropped for him today.
It's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
That whistle got a big response from this crowd, and it is not a favorable one, let's say.
I'll tell you what, the fans can't believe that they made that call.
They can take their time on this possession.
You know, guys, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, it gives themselves a little break, too.
Catch the breath. You're right.
Whatever their plan was defensively that time, it didn't work. Not if it results in that shot.
San Antonio calls timeout.
You know, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last season, guys, was that they were able to finish games strong. You think a group of vets might run out of gas, but the opposite was true with this group. They turned it up down the stretch and were one of the most productive teams in the league in terms of fourth quarter points.
And a new group in for the Knicks. Amari Stoudemire. He's checked in for Chandler. Martin comes in for Bargnani. Meta World Peace. He's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. And it's Udrich in for Raymond Felton. Here's Parker. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Parker's got 20 points. Well, Clark, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last year in the fourth was because they have so many options when possessions, you know, Steve, start getting critical and the game is tight.
Well, no question. You got Parker to create off the dribble. You can always throw it into the low post to Duncan. But on top of that, you've got a roster full of guys who understand how to play the game and know how to play each other. Just the experience that this group has gained together over the years, I think allows them to execute under pressure.
It's Ginobili outside and out of bounds as the Knicks gain possession. The Knicks leading by 14. Smith kicks to World Peace. It's good. The assist that time from Smith.
Well, that's a wrap, fellas. No way you come back in this one.
Not anymore. Any chance of that happening went out the window a while ago.
And that's a foul called on Beno Udrich. And that'll be his third foul so far. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Splitter. Diaw comes in for Tim Duncan. Bellinelli, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And Corey Joseph subbed in for Tony Parker. Ginobili outside. Here's Joseph. And he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. 1:15 left in the game. Smith kicks to Udrich. He dishes it to Stoudemire. New York moving the ball around. Udrich, the pass to World Peace. There's the feed to Udrich. Smith with it. Now defended by Bellinelli. 4 on the clock. Right side, World Peace. Takes the 3. Joseph with the rebound. The Spurs have gone 6 of 13. So just about 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter. And it's Martin penetrating. Smith outside. World Peace. That doesn't go either for World Peace.
Kind of rare to see him come up empty on a wide open look. You know, these calls can be some of the toughest in the game for the officials.
It all happened so fast, but I really think that was the right call. The defender was not really set in that situation.
All free throws good from Bellinelli. New York's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Martin dishes to World Peace. Drains the three-pointer.
They got to feel pretty good about this win tonight, guys, defending their home floor.
Yeah, and just riding it out here now. I mean, they gave the fans what they wanted.
Now, here's Joseph. He's guarded by Udrich. And the foul called on Kenyon Martin. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. And New York making a change here. And Diao drops them both. Here's Udrich. Stoudemire, right side. Stolen by Ginobili. And oh, here we go. Joseph's got it. The fast break chance. Here's Bellinelli. It's good. The assist that time from Diao.
So deflating for a team. Clark coughing up the ball at one end, and then it turns into immediate points at the other end.
And it's just as much of a boost for the team getting those easy points off the steal.
Here's Bellinelli. So no problem for New York as they get the win. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly